So thank you guys for coming today. I'm very happy. I'm happy that my brother came too. Before I introduce my brother, I just want to share a little story real quick. So today's segment, I want to say it's about finding your purpose. What is your calling? A lot of times, kids, even parents, there's a clash between them because sometimes the parents has a different plan, a different vision for the child to be, but that might be not what the child wants. You see that a lot with artists, right? With musicians. At a very young age, they're doing music, they're singing, they're doing concerts, they're traveling, going from school to school. And they're like, but they never really enjoy their childhood. They're just always going. And yeah, don't get me wrong, some of them become the biggest star, right? But are they really happy? Me growing up, I can speak from my experience. My mom always told me that I should get into social work. She said, you're a good listener. You know how to ask questions. You know how to make people open up. And you'll make more money than acting. I said, Mom, but I understand social work is nice. I like the subject, but this is my passion. This is what I want to do. I want to do something like this or radio, right? So imagine trying to explain to your parents so many times, Mom, this is not what I want to do. This is my dream. That's your dream, but I want to do my dream. Even though my mom had good intentions, she knew what was best for me, right? She wants me to have a stable job. But at the end of the day, that's not her dream, right? That's her dream, right? But I have a different vision. I have a different dream. So I said, what better way to convince my mom that this is what I want to do, right? So one day I had a big play that my mom had no idea about. It was at my university. I was the main character. My sister came, my uncle, my aunt, and they also had no idea. And I was the main character. And I'm not lying, when I heard the whole crowd cheering, it was like a great feeling. I felt like, whoa, this is what I'm meant to do. I feel the energy. After the performance, my professor talked to my mom, and she said, Mighty, because it's my mom, your son has the voice of communication. My professor cried, and my mom cried. And it was a moment where they both hugged each other. And from that moment, my mom realized that's his passion. That's his dream. I have to accept that. Growing up, right, I got a little older. After graduation, I got to meet my favorite YouTuber of all time in Chicago. His name is Edgar O. Crazy thing, he's a Leo like me, Latino, and he's known for talking about Chucky collectibles. And I got the chance to meet him. I had we met up at this Cuban restaurant, and I told him my dream. I want to get into YouTube now. I want to do Chucky skits. I want to do parodies. And he asked me a very tough question. And the question was, are you doing this for passion or are you doing this for money? Depending what you say, I have a different answer. I said, whoa. And I said, passion. It's a good answer. I was worried. He said, a lot of time, young people, they do their dream, right? They follow their passion, whatever it is, but they do it for money. And what happens? They get to that level, right, of that fame, but they start losing their creativity because they're comfortable. They don't need a challenge. They don't need someone to tell them, hey, you're messing up here. No, I know it. I know what I'm doing. So you're right here. You sometimes get lazy and you fall apart. But when you follow your passion, right, he says, you enjoy whether or not you make money or not, you're still happy. And when you do get to that level, right, you become big, you're still happy. You still have your creativity because you're enjoying what you're doing. So I have a story to share. I have to share a story. Something that BNA said last time, if I can share, She says, in Judaism, are there representation of women in Judaism? That's the question. She said. I had to hold it. Couldn't share everything, so I can share it today. One of my favorite stories is a true story. You know the story. I already know. It's one of my favorite. My rabbi used to tell me a lot, named Akiva. And Akiva, he's during the time, just to give you a little history, he's during the time of the 1st century when the Romans controlled Jerusalem. It was a lot of his stories you can find in Jerusalem and in Babylonia or modern day Iraq. But amazing story, this man was so poor, never went to school, lived his whole life doing whatever he wanted. And he worked for this rich guy. I can't get his name. Something with Colby or something like that. And he had a daughter named Rachel. And Rachel, she started to have dreams, visions, that she was supposed to marry him. Even her gut, her intuition kept telling her, you're supposed to marry him. She one day told her father, Father, how would you feel for me to marry Akiva? You're nuts. If you marry Akiva, all my wealth, my resources, my power is gone. I won't even want you around. You're out. Rachel kept having the same dreams. She actually listened to her gut. She's thinking maybe this is a sign from God. And she married Akiva. They became very poor. They said they were so poor that they would cut their hair and sell it just to get a loaf of bread. That's how poor they were. But they started to run out. There's so much hair you could cut, right? So his wife Rachel says to Akiva, there's this program going on right now, a yeshiva, a place where you study the Torah, the Bible. And you'll get a free education. You'll learn Hebrew. You'll learn Aleph Beis, the alphabet. And they'll feed you. So it's better that one person is being fed than we're both struggling. I can handle that. And Akiva's thinking, he's like, is this what you want? You know? Are you okay with this? She's like, look, you have nothing to lose. You never went to school. Okay. I'll give it a try. So he goes. Guess how many years he went to study? Just guess.
24.
Ooh, not bad. What about you, brother? What you think?
30 years.
30 years? Xavier, what you think, brother?
35. I was going up.
I like that.
Double it.
Tony, what you think?
I don't know, man. We went high or low. I'm going to go with
Hot or cold?
22.
What about you, Vinay?
I remember the story, but I don't remember the years. I just remember thinking, damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not going to go as high.
Okay.
I'm going to keep it low. I'm going to say 7.
Okay, not bad. So, I was going to say but yeah, I'm saying. And so it was 12. It was 12 years. I actually thought it was 7. So you're on the right track.
Okay. So you maybe did say 7.
Yeah, I probably did. So I had to reread it. And so 12 years he went to study. And he's so excited he wants to surprise his wife. So he goes there. And on his way to surprise her, the neighbor is talking to Rachel. Says, what are you doing waiting for Akiva? He doesn't love you. He probably forgot about you because he's studying. And so Akiva heard that. And he's like, you know what? And the wife said, even if he studies more years, I'll still love him. I'll still wait for him. So Akiva wanted to see, right? He goes back to school for another 12 years. Believe it or not. You ready for this?
That's where I got 24 from.
Yeah!
You think that?
Yeah, I like that. You're a smart guy. I didn't know. Tell you. So the crazy,
Quick math.
yeah.
Okay.
So the crazy thing, everybody's excited. This big rabbi's coming. Everybody's getting ready, dressing up. And the disciples of the rabbi looked at Rachel and said, Rachel, because she's wearing like raggedy, baggy clothes, go change your outfit. You don't want to present yourself with the rabbi like this. She's like, this is all I got. So someone in the above says, please step away. Let her come through. And it's the rabbi. Rabbi Akiva. He tells everyone, and she's right here next to him, says, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today. She saw something in me that I didn't see. At the age of 40, I learned how to read and write Hebrew. I became a rabbi. At that time, he actually, all the people that attended, he had 24,000 students. That's huge. But here's one thing I forgot, if I have to rewind. So, one thing I missed out, when they were poor, Akiva and Rachel, he promised her that he was going to give her a gold necklace that says Jerusalem. And they laugh, right? Because they're poor. So moving forward, we're back to the rabbi and his students and everyone gathered. My rabbi loved adding this part of the story. It's crazy, but he gave her the golden necklace that says Jerusalem. It was a beautiful moment, right? So why am I sharing this story? Is because sometimes even your loved ones, like your partner, your spouse, whoever, they can see something in you that you may not see. Everyone here today has a different purpose, a different mission. It's not all the same. I can't tell Xavier, your mission is to be a carpenter. No, because that's not his passion. That's not his calling. His calling is boxing. And I have to respect that. That's his dream. And I know he's going to be a champ. I already know. I don't have to say it. But he's going to be a champ. So that's what I mean. That is my lesson today. So going to pass the torch to my brother, we have a special guest. Not only is he an actor, he's a filmmaker, and he's a rabbi. The one and only Israel.
I've watched a couple shows and I think it's so like interesting and like pretty cool. I think I could do it because I'm just good at like pulling shit out of my ass. I don't know if it's gonna make sense, but I can start talking about something random for sure.
It's really fun, but again, like it helps to have somebody else up there who's giving you stuff.
Yeah.
Disclaimer first. It's fine print. I'm an ordained rabbi. I'm not a practicing rabbi.
What's the difference?
The difference is I passed all the tests, but I don't run services, and I don't. I'm not a chaplain, and I don't work in a synagogue or a temple or anything like that.
But you could.
I could if I wanted to. Yes.
Okay. So
I have the knowledge and I have the abilities.
You got somewhere that a lot of people like have to put like hours and dedication to, and you got there, but you no longer do it.
Well, so what happened was I come from a line of rabbis. So my father's a rabbi, his father was a rabbi, my mother's father was a rabbi, all my brothers are rabbis, all my sisters married rabbis. So everybody in my family is in that world, and growing up in the what some people would call the Orthodox Jewish way of life. I don't personally like that term. You're either Jewish or you're not. But what some people would refer to as Orthodox, anything you would learn in the process of learning to be a rabbi was just a way of life for me. So there wasn't a lot of learning. It was just knowing that, being familiar with that world. Like it's the difference between, imagine if you were playing in a basketball league ever since you were 5, right? So by the time you got to college, adapting to college ball would be pretty simple, right? And then now imagine you never touched a basketball and you come to college and you say, I want to play basketball. It's going to be a huge culture shock, right? Okay. So that's the difference. Is somebody who's not involved in that world wanting to become a rabbi, that's going to be a long, arduous process. Learning things that you never even heard about, learning a new language, and all that stuff. But for me, growing up in the culture that I did, all it was just a very small adjustment, just a small, okay, let's zone in, let's focus in on 2 particular subjects, in that it was Shabbat. Everyone here know what Shabbat is?
I think so. That's David. Yeah.
Heard of it? Sabbath.
Yeah.
Yeah, David
Yeah.
talks about it. And kosher. So those are the two subjects that were most important for becoming a rabbi, because the whole idea was that you can take care of the basic thing, which is your own home. If something goes wrong in your own home, do you know how to fix it? Do you know the answers if problems arise in your own home? So you don't have to go ahead and ring up the rabbi at 2 a.m., right? You know what to do because you've studied and you're your own rabbi in your own home. That was the idea. So for me, to actually become a rabbi was just 1 year to get that certification because of all the education leading up
Yeah.
to it.
So at what point did you decide that you don't want to like be like an official rabbi, or what's the reason? If you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. I did not even choose to be a rabbi. I grew up in that world, so I knew all the stuff. At 18 years old, I told my parents I don't want to go to Jewish school anymore. I just want to start working. I just want to go on my journey. And my parents asked me to do them a favor. And they said, please take 1 more year, get your rabbi degree, your ordination, and then go do whatever you wanted to do. And I agreed. I thought that was a very reasonable ask. So I did it. It wasn't for my own. I already wanted to go on a different journey. It wasn't the entertainment, filmmaking, or acting journey, but definitely was not the path of the rabbi. I knew that going into it. But ironically, that year I studied harder than I ever did in school, which was very strange to me. But you'd think something that I wasn't even doing for me, I would study less. But that was the hardest. That was the first time I ever became the kid in class that other people took notes from.
Looking back, why do you think you did it that way? Have you like thought about it?
Did what way?
Where you
Starting
put it,
with hard, locked in. And
like locked in.
Oh, because it wasn't mine. I was doing a favor for somebody else, and I care deeply about the things that I do for other people. And there's the things that I do for myself that I'm really passionate about, and there are things that I do for others that I'm really passionate about. Not that I'm passionate about the thing, but I'm passionate about the person. And if you're passionate about the person and you really care about them, then you'll put in the same amount of work that you would if you were passionate about it yourself.
Not more sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.